and this confidence that you can tell he's just always so certain of his decisions, and it's really, really impressive.
Under priority in a cavern, spelunking his way through another drainer. And without priority, he's got to be the most dangerous athlete on tour. 8-point ride into maybe a bigger score right there, Flick.
Oh, that's got to be bigger than the 8 for me. I mean, that was a bigger wave. Thinking back to this morning, I think it was Kelly. He will just have a look at this one. This is Gabriel. I mean, look how far forward on the board he had to shift his way because he was so deep on that thing. I mean, look, yeah, he's calling it. But look at this. I mean, right here, he's so far forward on the board. There is so many weaves that he's done in that barrel, so many pumps down the line. He rode the foam ball for so long. This thing was insane.
I don't think he could have gotten much deeper. You saw how like he was on the foam ball for pretty much the whole wave until he came out. And that's what's so difficult about Teahupo'o is it just the foam ball really bucks you. You know, you saw Jake Marshall getting bucked off. But I don't know. In my opinion, it's got to go close to a 10 because honestly, the 8 was in comparison, you know, I think like there's 2 points extra there for sure.
Yeah, I'd have to agree with that. I think that was just so well done. And
John behind him, giant alley-oop and puts it down. Continues on. Full momentum down the line after a huge alley-oop, and he's going to continue to assault Punta Roca. What do you want, John Florence?
There has just been a murder on the dance floor, ladies and gentlemen. Good Lord. So, all the way on the outside, gaining speed right here. Click, bam, right there with the landing. As easy as Sunday morning, Kaipo, straight into the carve right there. And then how's this little combo right at the end, too? Oh, wow. Flawless.
You don't see a lot of claims from John. This isn't from the water, Mitch.
Whenever he claims a wave, that included over in Tahiti, it means that it's something special. Look at how perfect that was. The height, the angle.
The landing,
the rotation, everything.
And it didn't stop any of his momentum, any of his performance on that wave.
So difficult landing in the spot, having your feet in the same place. Degree of difficulty as high as it could possibly be.
Oh, love this in slow motion, Mitchell.
Just perfect technique, always well balanced on top of the board. Excellent stuff right here from John. But once again, where he lands, look at the back foot. Perfectly placed the entire time.
And then straight into a bottom turn.
That is just absurd. Wow, into the next carve too. This should be a huge number, Kipes.
Yeah, we feel it's a huge number. And we'll get the finish. And wow, the judges know that it's a huge number. A 10, and not just a 10, a perfect 10. A 10 from every one of the 5 judges.
Well-deserved.
John Florence scores that perfect 10. And a Yeti cooler stuffed with a bunch of Yeti gear. He already rides for Yeti, but he's going to have an extra Yeti cooler.
Now, I mean, she got the exact score to get her out of combo. Now she needs a 10, but straight back out with priority and into this wave,
Oh,
which is a bomb.
my. Deep one for Weston-Webb. She comes out. She comes out. She needs a 10-point ride to turn the heat.
Wow.
Wow. What are we watching, Flick?
that was absolutely insane. You could just see how excited she is, like splashing raw water. Coach there as well.
Take a look at it. Break it down for us, Ryan.
Yeah, super late and kind of knifes in, and then the wave just keeps going, fully disappears and comes out around. Unbelievable surfing. Like, the commitment was insane. Wow.
How's the water angle, Flick? Just the feeling that you get.
Absolutely incredible. I mean, she was so deep. Look at this takeoff, up underneath the lip, drives through that second section, comes flying out, and for me, it's there.
It's perfect in my eyes.
It is. I see it. I see it. I mean,
they can be pretty brutal though. But
look at that takeoff.
It's insane.
I mean, how critical was that? Half her board, she like really got on that toe side rail.
Super deep. I mean, to have that west bowl come, the wave hit perfectly outside, and she knew it was going to do that. You could see how excited she is on her face. Like,
I just love the relief of not having to compete. I just love being a spectator now. I'm such a huge fan of the sport, and I still watch everything. But, oh, here we go. Well, let's see what Florence can do here to get rid of that 7.83. All out on the first section.
Holy
and
hammer.
he's going to pull it back under his feet and add more down the line here. This wave's got another big wall standing up, and he just blows the tail right through it. And there is the scream. John Florence hasn't really had a whole lot to celebrate on his road through to this point in the competition, but he is starting to let the emotion out.
So far, John, it's a good-looking wave standing up for him. Throws everything in that section. Just, I don't even know what we call it. It was like a re-entry hack off the lip with a bit of layback thrown in there. Comes all the way through to the inside and just hammer time.
Big score. We allowed to guess them.
Yeah, go for it.
Oh, there you go at 9.63.
I might be going bigger than that.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if we see the Nuggets drop here. It's perfect surfing to me. It had that radical element.
What do you got for us, mate?
Right.
What do you got for us, mate? Take it away.
It's 10 points. You guys, that's huge. Okay.
A perfect score for John Florence.
I couldn't fault it.
I mean, he took off on that second wave, and that carve is as good as it gets. But, you know, he can do that turn without risking the ride. A lot of people can't, but there he threw it all on the line on that first move. And the power displaced on that final section was some of the best we've seen.
It was just the perfect moment in that heat.
It is so daunting to understand where you are in the lineup as we see Pickles.
Molly putting her head down, grabs the rail of the pipeline, pulls up and under. She's still going and gets the exit.
Goodness.
You little legend, you. Molly Picklum spat out of the pit and pipe, showing how well she can go backhand or forehand on demand. That is going to be a wonderful score and extend her lead out front. Flick, take us through this one.
This was absolutely insane. Grabs the rail, pulls up underneath the lip, comes flying out with the spin. Wow. For me, that was so technical. So technical. And so hard to do on your backhand. She held that rail for so long. It was just so beautiful to watch. My jaw's to the floor right now. This was just...
Yeah, it's going to be near perfect, this. You know, her technique coming off the bottom there, the way she's able to pull up on that outside rail and just get in the tube, and she was so deep. There we go. There we see it.
A 10-point ride to kick off the year. Molly Picklum.
She wanted a 10. She wants a 10.
And she gets a 10. Barron's going the same direction, knifing it super deep. Mamiya comes down.
And that's exactly what I'm telling. Like, what did he do wrong? He blocked Barron on that first wave, but he was a little bit on the shoulder in that second wave, just kind of doubling up. And the skills that Barron have to actually pull that drop off and get that speed off the bottom.
And pushed him deep, and then Mamiya locked into this one.
Yeah, and that's what I was saying. He was so late. Are you kidding me? How did he stick that drop? And not just that, usually 99% of the people just get stuck on the bottom. And he was able to just drive through those sections like it was a 2-foot wave. That was impressive. So check this out. There's a lump right there. He airdropped, and straight as soon as he hit the bottom, he did that big pump down the line and somehow managed to, do what he did. It was impressive.
And he would not be celebrating like that unless he had a very special feeling. Check out this number, a perfect 10 for Barron Mamiya at Pipeline to take the lead over John Florence. We love you too, Katie, as we watch a big blast there, throwing the fins out. John Florence with his signature move. Driving into another big hack there. And now laying it down to shut it down. There's a lot of emotion coming out of the big man. Take another look at John's explosive start.
Streaking down the line here, pressure on the front foot, jams that backhand into the wall, and that is that trademark layback hack that we've seen John Florence lean into so often, and it's a turn that he's got so many variations of. Does some great work down the line here. Here's that sort of swivel effect that he gets off the lip and flexing. You don't see John Florence do that too often, so you know that he's stoked with the result of this wave.
Great angle from the water here, Jesse.
I mean, what a great way to start a heat, and actually to answer from Italo's, and great first turn, that was massive. He pushed as hard as he could on that first wave, finished it off strong as we can see right here on the screen, and he's gonna get rewarded.
Oh, look at that. That is just, wow. They went super excited about this one. One judge even giving it a 10, a 9.70.
Katie on the answer. Speed move off the top. She is flying into that section on the open face. Belts it in the pocket again. Throws a nice little wrapping cutback. Now the wall is opening up and just chips the finish and goes down.
Wow. Did Katie just drop back-to-back excellent scores?
As we go to the IC replay.
Look at her. She's fired up. You can see the energy. The feeling is there. Sets up this first turn. Plus beautiful, seamless, float-like transition there. Carves into that second one. And then just, she's weightless, right? It looks effortless. It's beautiful surfing. And, I mean, yeah, let's talk about those feelings. They're good ones. They're really good feelings, Joe.
To me, the degree of difficulty comes in where you're not burning speed to attack a section. She's just going at it like full throttle. Every maneuver's different. Yeah, I'm like...
There's the support for Caroline, but now it's Caitlin's turn. Simmers on a fun lowers right, punches the pocket quickly out in front for the wrapping turn. Now with some speed, she'll coast and lay that rail down and drill the rebound section. Big whip in the pocket, looking nice and loose. Slides out the fins on the wrap and does it again. Pops out the fins on demand. You're looking at one of the most freest surfers in the world, just expressing herself on her opening ride against Caroline Marks.
Let's have a look here. What did you think, Rosie?
I love this wave. This opening maneuver, you can tell that she just wants to get vicious with it, just absolutely dismantles that lip. And like we saw earlier, she wants to stay tight in that pocket. She does that first turn and then really gears up towards that section. Okay, one of the best roundhouse cutbacks I've seen all season.
Yeah.
I mean, no two-stager right there, and that's just all technique, setting up for that fin throw. Man, I mean, are we variety, flow, power, speed? Definitely not burning off any speed to anticipate a section. Like, she's going at it as fast and as hard as she can.
So creative in this approach. I love how she has stretched it out. A little bit of old school tribute right here.
Oh, look, the figure eight, the roundhouse cutty, that was like a second move in its own. I mean, you know, your average surfer's going surfing, you do a backhand re-entry like that, you're stoked. I mean, this was a roundhouse cutback.
Weren't we comparing her to Karen earlier? Like just that style and composure and technique, and then straight into that maneuver.
9.17 for Caitlin Simmers. Big separation over Caroline's 6.17. Well deserved. So much variety, so much flow. Spontaneity at 18, ruling the world right now.
Everyone, just get ready. Caroline's up and riding.
And the train hoots for Caroline Marks as she takes off. There's the real hooter, and she is hanging it up there on the backhand numerous times. Talk about an answer back. Oh. Talk about an exchange. Talk about some snappy backhand surfing. Caroline, relentless down the line. And that was an answer back just when she got put in the corner. Caroline Marks.
Are you kidding me?
8 seconds remaining to catch that wave.
That was amazing. So she's surfing for a 6.83. Caroline knows I've got to go really big, and she does, right? Just straight up into the lip again. I feel like this is better surfing than what we've seen from Caroline on her previous wave. I feel like this score has to go bigger. And she maintained that intensity throughout this whole entire wave. She wasn't done yet. I mean, there was a lot of work done on the inside here. So waiting for these scores to drop, and wow, such exciting times.
Wow. I'd be surprised if Ethan doesn't go on this one.
I'll be very surprised too. That looks like the perfect wave you're looking for out there today.
Here he goes. Winds up, chops it down off the top. One more deep bomb turn, another chop off the top for Ethan Ewing. One more time, third, more aggressive, gets a little release. And a fourth, getting rhythm down the line. Gets loose with a little fakie ride before kicking out. There you go. That is a breakaway wave, and that's going to be a breakaway score. We're watching a 9-point ride here.
Yeah, I mean, Jesse, you called it. This is beautiful surfing. It's the best we've seen. And to your point, he just for me, he's the most informed surfer. He is reading this wave really well. This wave selection is beautiful. And his approach out here and his ability to identify waves and the wave selection is really playing into his favor.
Okay, I just want to point something out on this this last turn right here. You're going to see him getting very low on the bottom to try and put himself in a good position for this last tail blow. And it's very technical because you got to shift weight.
And then out the back, Gabe takes off. We saw this first turn and I was thinking, holy moly, he's on his way to good score. Identifies down the line. This thing's growing. Let's go, let's go. Charging down the line and comes flying out. To have the foresight to just keep waving like that.
Nah, look at, he's got nitrous in the tank. He's got a turbocharge right here. The speed that he gets, Jesse, is unlike anyone else in the barrel.
Like, this is so impressive. Look at the fumble he's going through. He's just waiting right there to absorb that, but he's actually just in front of it. So that was perfect timed. And I mean, I'm with him. Like, I think this is going to be a perfect.
Well, he's got two career 10s at Fiji. Will this be number 3?
My favourite bit was the claim. I think the blowing the kiss to the judges was that sealed the deal.
I like Jesse calling Gabe the Grinch, stealing Christmas right now. all of the presents gone from Jake Marshall because Jake was looking like a happy kid.
Talk about manufacturing a barrel that, like, it was decent, but he made it way better than it was.
Now deep on this one, Yago getting gunned out behind the spin. Driving into the first carve. Total control and all-time flow on the open face. Looking very patient, not trying to celebrate too early, and Yago shuts it down.
Perfect. Everybody in the channel talking about how sick it looks, and then they're going, yes, 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 and then he pulled up underneath it, and then once he got inside of it, you couldn't see him looking into it. It just was all filled up with the foam, and the whole thing was breathing, and all this wind was coming across it. It was so dramatic, and all of a sudden, poof, Leandro, in the channel, everybody else, wow, it was just elation. Beautiful ride, beautiful tube, great execution. Probably one of the better waves of the day, I'd say.
I agree with you, Strider. It's got to be the best. I mean, how deep he was behind the spit, and I love how he didn't overreact out of it. He just kept his patience, his composure to go right into turns.
You just also know that how much the judges appreciate that foam ball ride, and just a good indication of how deep you are in the tube, right? He was behind the foam ball and then came out shooting in front of it. Like, I just think back to...
Medina at it again during the break, Rich.
Oh, well, here we go. So Medina, another great-looking wave. Big speed carve straight up into the pit again. Driving through this one, even better than the last. So Gabriel, there's that big grab rail carve that we're talking about. So, well, instantly, if the last one was 8.5, this one is going to go north of that, or it will, in my opinion. That transition from that first carve up into the barrel here, and you can see, in contrast to the other barrel where he was driving through it, Gabriel tucks up into this one, sticks his inside hand into the face and slows himself down. So perhaps that will be...
Often tail high, but when he gets so tail high, he can turn it into a back roll pretty easily where he's almost flipping out of it. There's a cool looking frontside power carve to show his depth. Lay back, blow tail again for Dora for an absolutely devastating combination. As he's looking to go 2 in a row. How about this?
I mean, look at this layback right here. This is full-on movie style right there. Like, so much style, so much control, and finally he got a wave that actually was an excellent scoring wave, and he just oversurfed once again, but now in a way better quality wave. The speed was there, the power of the wave, and you're going to see him bottom turn right here and really going to be able to open up. Actually kept that carve really tight and aggressive. And then transitioning right here, just look at his eyes eyeing it down that closeout section. He's going to go for a massive layback.
Big hammer there. There's the blowtail. There's the score, a 9-3-3.
Italo's going to ride a lot of waves right now.
Italo feeling this one on the right. Glassy, open face. Already starting to jam down the line. Loves a backhand rotation. So much height. Perfect landing. His good friend and manager Marcos is celebrating on the beach. A signature move for Italo that he can provide on demand. Incredible execution.
You're going to see it in slow motion, be able to really break it down. You're going to see his head right there halfway through. He's going to look to the tail. And that's what's going to bring all that momentum to flip, not flip the board, but to keep the board.
Oh, it seems like Yago might have a wave here, though, Kaipo.
Dora. Good looking wave for Yago.
Uh-oh.
Bigger wave, big snap off the top. Nice wall in front of Yago. Dora pulls the rail down on the down carve. One more snap. Building momentum down multiple maneuvers. Some variety in the line. Great rail surfing by Yago. This wave keeps on giving. Low road on the end here. Claps his hands, and his support squad goes wild, as well as the beach. Yago Dora is going to start running away with this one after this number drops.
Yeah, and somebody woke up the dragon right there, Kaipo. He is awake right now, and he's on the outside. How about the size of this wave, too?
How about all the judges from this, all the scores from the judges? A couple of 9.5s in there throughout the high, the low, way into the excellent range with that 9.17.
Yeah, well deserved for sure, but man, that carve right there was powerful. It was intense, and truly a masterpiece being painted right here by the youngster from Floripa.
What incredible surfing. Well, it's time for us to announce quarter is the most maybe the most dangerous surfer in the draw right now, or at least one of them as far as the performance level that he's bringing.
Well, here he goes. Woo!
Smash. They give the people what they want, Houshmand.
Yeah, I might have to drop the headset and get down on the beach. I'm missing the energy down there.
Hit 3, if not very close to it, but just the variation once again, and we talk about him putting in so much time in the gym. It's definitely noticeable with the power turns, Kipes.
Yeah, love that grab rail strider, and then this full road.
Well, you can see his eyes eyeing up the landing as he left the lip line.
Yago. Beautiful snap to start. Carves through that second turn. Aggressive third snap. Putting it together right here. The rhythm evident down the line for Yago Dora repeatedly. Snapping on the lip on the backhand, pops it up, puts it down, and stands up out of it.
When it comes to in the water situations like this with the caddy out there, you just got to give him props, words of encouragement when he's paddling back out. Look at this combo right here. The timing was impeccable, just beautiful stuff on the backhand from Yago, and then when you combine it with the variation, the creativity, the progression right there with that air.
To number 9 from 17th coming into this event, up 8 spots, and he's up in the air.
What?
What was that? That was a McTwist, Indy McTwist. That's a full twister. That was as twisted as you could get.
It's incredible, right? I don't think we've seen creativity like this in the air. I mean, we know he's always been capable, but this is incredible.
That's a full rotation Indy right there. A rare bird. Even in free surfs, this would be a rare bird. This in a jersey is incredible. Gets the pop, gets upside down, Indy grab around, full rotation, nose to the beach.
You just got to take it. It's like we're playing a video game right now, and we're just each different wave. We're just like, okay, let's go for this move. Let's go for this. It's just you've got to commend it. It's incredible, and to bring that in the heat.
And right behind him, Griffin Colapinto. Big air, catches the landing, hits the whitewater. More to give on the inside, winding up. Griff goes huge. Pulls it around. That's how you surf out of an interference call, ladies and gentlemen.
Houston, we do not have a problem, guys.
We don't, no problem at all with that kind of surfing. 2 airs on one wave. I'm going to go ahead and say 2.5 airs on one wave because that second air was incredible.
What?
Literally.
I mean, The first air was rad because it was just kind of cool, straight air, lands, sticks into it. But this thing, this is redonkulous, I call it, because it's just a complete projection out into the flats, huge air. I mean, that thing was massive.
Where he landed.
And looking down on it, it still looked massive. This would be a great view right here.
Guess who was right underneath him? Zhao's right there by the WSL logo, looking up, going, "Oh no!"
That was bananas, you guys.
Look at, there's Zhao.
Wow, that was incredible.
Look at his front foot. It's on the nose.
That's flow state right there, baby.
Yeah, he just tapped into the zone.
Hey, isn't he the airbender right now, Chris?
Well, now he is.
And now looks like we're going to have a chance. Florence with priority, putting himself really deep, going for a huge score. Seeing him survive the foam ball, puts his hand to the sky and almost goes down. That's when that wave bends away from everyone watching on the boats, but they see him reappear and they absolutely let out a huge cheer.
Bent backwards towards him so much that, look at that fumble. It's hitting him even though he's outside of the barrel. So it's going to be interesting to see what the judges think. I think he was a bit in front, even though it was an impressive ride from him. As you see it right there, he starts to slow down. He gets in the fumble, but on the side angle, he's inside the tube still. But on the front angle right there, as soon as the fumble hits him, you can kind of see him. So yeah, it's up to the judges to decide, but that was a very critical wave. I think he's going to fall short, but beautiful wave for John right there, and he looks stoked.
Cut to John Florence. John yanks on the rail over the foam ball, bucks through there, and he's going to take the lead. His mind's blown.
My mind's blown too.
Oh my.
That was incredible, but this wave here from John, I mean, are you kidding me? So deep in the barrel. I mean, he rode over the foam ball. Let's have a look from this angle. So grabs the rail, slips up underneath, and he's pumping right there, and he's on that foam ball, well and truly. Look at that, like that time on the foam ball, the judge is gonna love it. He loves it. Anytime you see John do a claim, that's the biggest claim he's done all event.
Michelle, talk us through, you know the feeling on this on the backhand, trying to weave through a West Bowl here.
You know that feeling, you pretty much look for it during the free surfs, and John does that during the comp. So that's super exciting for me. He took off right behind the peak, and he was so deep. He was, you know, right on the top of the wave too, and I don't even know, like, if he was thinking about making it. He just thought, like, okay, I'm going to go 100% and see what's going to happen after that.
Wow. Anticipation in the air as we await the score for John to set this heat.
Right on cue. 2:10 on the clock. A spot in the semifinals on the line. The underdog being Ryan Callinan. As we look at this first one, perfect takeoff, drops in, stands straight up with room to move. Gabriel Medina, another incredible ride. Had so much time to enjoy it, and he's making it look really easy. One more look here, Vahine.
Yeah, big set wave and disappears, comes out with the spit. Yeah, that's going to be, I think, his second best score, or maybe the best score of the heat.
How's that style, the footwork right there, just perfect. Perfect execution.
Locked and loaded. You're watching the guy who's been on a hot streak out here. Last 7 events he's competed in. He's featured in 6 finals. So he'd be happier if he was closing out more events out here. But looks like he'd just be on a dream surf trip somewhere. It's not like he's barely fitting into these barrels. You can almost fit 2 of them on top of each other when it's standing this tall and it's starting to corner a little bit more with that reinforcing swell. That was one of those magic moments. Wow, we're going back to live quickly, driving through the pit and out into the daylight is Gabriel Medina, who's been very selective, but selecting really well. His 8 was a long time ago, and Didn't need much to take the lead. We'll see him transition into first now with 10:15 to go, Jesse. Even though Rio hasn't been here for a very long time, but enjoying another matchup. This being their 4th already in one-on-one heats on the biggest stage. Battling for this one, John Florence pulls straight down the line, pointing towards the exit. This thing letting him go. And he will just breeze to the exit. These are the days that bring John to life.
The biggest thing is John is really picking the eyes out of which one he's looking for. You can see that Rio's ones are kind of a little more almondy, and that just hits the reef. He's just identifying the right ones. And yeah, this was a little bit of a smaller wave, but super long.
And every approach has been slightly different, just according to what he needs to do to get the big score, Jesse.
Yeah, but all of them had a lot of scoring potential, like Brisa mentioned. And let's just have a look right here. I guess we won't be able to see it, but all the pumps he had inside that barrel were with no hands. So that just shows how much control he is and how comfortable he is in the barrel. That was so impressive from him. This is going to be a mess.
Been seeing, oh, as we see, oh my gosh.
Wow. Checking out the bracket. John's trying to put his name right into it. Coming out of another pit.
We're probably going to see the replay right here. Look, it's like a bigger wave, hollower. He stalls, control the speed in the beginning. That west ball comes and he just, you know already he's going to make it. That was a beautiful ride from him.
Brisa, what'd you see here?
Wow. I mean, just the way that his body is just leaning into the wave, his connection, that butt drag right from the start. You can really see his fins engage, and then he just slows down, and it just sets up perfectly. And gosh, that was just poetry in motion.
Total style and the willingness to take off really late straight into a slide. I don't know if anyone does that better than John Florence. Another view from here, Jesse.
Yeah, look how below sea level that wave is. It disappeared from a good portion right there on the bottom turn. And look at the positioning, just flawless, perfect. It's almost even hard to break it down right here because you can't even see the guy. He's that deep, and he's going to come out now. No hands. Perfect feet position. Back foot just in front of the...
You've just got to get as deep as possible. I mean, it's so easier said than done. Let's see what Yago can do here.
Oh, Yago with priority. Big, steep drop. Pulls up, double arm drag. Stays in front of that foam ball. Great feeling for Yago Dora. And he's looking to break himself off the chains of a combination that he's currently in.
This is just so beautiful. Look at this thing. He's not necessarily the deepest, but just in terms of a perfect barrel and, you know, what dreams are made of, I mean, that is it. You know, it was so big, so blue. Look at how that thing is folding in on itself.
Look at how he can't contain himself and the pure emotion on the exit of this huge cavern with that foam monster just chasing after him. It's like a dragon spitting on your back.
Yesterday, obviously, we had the men's elimination round, but for me, the women were the standout.
Oh, yeah.
It was insane. We'll get back to that in a second. Looks like Italo.
Italo under the hood, in the cave, in the cone, comes out. And Italo, big smiles in the channel. Peace sign. Feeling good. He's going to improve upon his heat total here.
It's in this heat. Let's have a look at this one. Italo super deep in this wave. I mean, absolutely pitted, coned. What a barrel, what a moment. This has definitely got to improve on that 6.5. I mean, he rode the foam ball there. We've seen today just how much the judges love that. So, yeah, I mean, he knows it too. Look how he's super happy, super excited. And,
you know, it's not just competition right now what's going down here at the end of the road. It's joy for these surfers. Just watching the smile beaming off of Italo's face coming out of that barrel.
You know, he's the kind of guy that should have been on tour like way earlier, you know. Oh, there we go.
Here we go, opportunity, long wall, a couple of pumps here, way deep, way back in this barrel. Spit, and he comes out. Fired back, Ramzi, Boukhiam. Talk about rock and roll. Look at this, Michelle.
Hey, seriously, I gave up. I thought he wouldn't, like, he was way too deep. Look at that.
Oh, my.
I gave up on him. You know, I'm his friend, but I gave up on him to tell you that he was that deep in a barrel. That's incredible, man.
Oh, man, the 3 pumps before that and then having to clear that foam ball flick.
I feel the judges are going to love this because anytime when someone has been on that foam ball for a prolonged period of time, the score has come through high, right? But he rode from behind the foam ball over the top of it and then projected out in front. It was insane. I mean, look at this angle. He just went through one whole big section. Like the time on the foam ball for me has just been really the difference today. And I feel like that was the clearest demonstration of it.
Look at the numbers. Look at the numbers. One judge goes 10, a 9.8. Ramzi, tenacity.
I feel like there was an exchange, and then bang, here we go. Look at this. Ryan Callinan falling out of the sky, pulling it up. Beautiful work to hold that line, just epic. And Ryan doing the lean back. He's feeling so good.
Gosh, that looks sensational. Thank you, Waz. Ryan Callinan. Ryan already has a 7.5. What are your thoughts on this one, Michelle?
Wow, that's such a clean one. He did it perfectly, perfect takeoff. Didn't even need to race in a barrel, you know, like he was at the right spot every single time. And I don't know, Barron's wave looked bigger maybe, the one after that. I felt like he should have kicked out earlier because there's always two wave sets, you know. Maybe he could have get the priority after that, but it doesn't really matter because he got already got two big scores and the pressure is on Barron right now.
Crazy drop, so much control, a lot of style, and just pure stoke from a man that's living his dreams.
Unbelievable, and now we're about to see another massive wave. Look at this thing. Oh my gosh. Gabriel Medina is going nuts. He's pumping through this thing. Poof! Are you kidding? Come on. What work do you want from Gabriel Medina right now?
210s?
Let's go. Let's go. Let's see it. Gabriel Medina deserves it. Is it a perfect heat? He is unbelievable. All the Groms want it from the channel. We're asking for 10s.
We looked at him, he said, have you had a perfect heat yet? 210s? And he was like, yeah, when I was a Grom.
Yeah, the king of the Groms. But what about now?
Wow. That
Pure
was just
elation, so much speed. What was the difference from his 10 before?
I honestly think this wave was bigger. Like, are you kidding? It's so good.
This wave was definitely bigger, 100%. You could drive a bus through this barrel. He was incredibly deep. Oh. The only difference with the one before was that he just had more time on the foam ball.
Yeah.
But this thing was a cavern. It was massive. The way it hit the reef, the circular sort of nature of this barrel, this thing was meaty. It had so much thickness to it. I honestly feel like it's got to be there. I mean, Tati, good luck. Get you in the booth. You got a 10 yesterday, and we're seeing them being thrown around already.
I thought you were going to bring that magic, and look at this. I mean, we haven't seen any signs of a score. We're right there with all the viewers around the world. I can't really sit still because I'm like, it's got to happen. For all he's accomplished out here, for the way he took off on that previous ride.
Back out, and he knows that wave was good. Let's go. Italo is going for it. He's really deep.
And driving through, he's got the speed. Italo, a perfect exit.
That was crazy. That was a good one. That was the best way of the hit so far. Cole knows it now.
Big numbers coming in for both these guys. Italo, one more time here, Jesse.
I mean, the length of the barrel, and he drove through the whole bank inside the barrel. As you see it right here, he just waits himself patiently, starts stalling with both hands once again, and then lets it go. This is the longest barrel we had. Very, very deep in the beginning, as you see it right there. You can't even see him, and then he slowed himself down again. Just a lot of technique and skills.
On the rankings, still in competition. Number 3, John still in competition. We'll get back to the rankings because Kelly's on a bomb. Big, roomy barrel, and he comes out. And so now we have an answer back by Kelly Slater. Just as you were mentioning, don't ever count Slater out, and this should even things out quite nicely for Kelly Slater.
You know, that score, I mean, for me, that was incredible. You know, I mean, in my mind, it was a 10, but I love that they gave him the 9.7, left a little room for improvement, and I feel like we're going to see some amazing action coming up soon because that was some of the coolest stuff I've ever seen on the foam ball. So let's go.
Yeah, Strider, one of the judges did agree with you and did give Slater a 10 for that wave that we're watching right now, but the average comes out as a high 9, a 9.73. Incredible. And not surprising, though, given the career that we've seen.
Crosby's already answering, draws off the bottom incredibly deep, and comes out of another cave. Brilliant performance from Cros right next to his buddy and going right into an aggressive paddle battle.
Thicker, drawing more water off the reef. It was a shorter barrel, but in terms of wow factor and the way it makes you feel, this made me feel something. It just made me sit up a little bit straighter. It's just so interesting, right? Like different types of barrels and the way you can slice and dice it and dissect it. But oh, that thing was just insane.
I mean, how critical it was, how thick it was. They want you on the heaviest waves, and I totally feel your reaction to that exchange, slowing down that last bit for Crosby.
Yeah, wow. I mean, look at the lip above his head. I mean, that thing is so thick. It's about 1 meter thick.
And the South African getting started, but he's still underwater, just popping up. Mamiya's on this one. Bottom drops out. He takes a higher line and is standing tall for the exit. And Matthews taking that one on the head.
My goodness, Barron just got absolutely coned on that thing. It was incredible. I mean, just the casualness to his approach here. I mean, there's nothing casual about this wave. But just look at the ease that he just sticks through there. Oh, wow. Okay, so he actually grabbed the rail there. I thought he actually obviously grabbed it at the very beginning. He releases the rail just so that he can get that pump in down the line and then had to grab it again. So incredibly technical barrel here from Barron and just demonstrating exactly what we've been talking about.
This is exactly what Barron wants to do for the rest of his life. Take off so late. This is the new school, the new modern day update of backhand.
He's just sitting out there. All this time has gone by. He needs a giant number, 9.33. Here he goes. This could be it. In the pit with the spit and coming out. Just is going to make a heat for us. Just in time and enough time on the clock. If he doesn't get that 9.33, certainly straight back into the game.
Very late on the takeoff right there, getting some air under the board, and look at that extra section coming out after the spit, which that's just to put in a notice that how deep you were in that wave. Going through all that turbulence, the board was just shaking, and that was intense. Look how much the wave bends that you hear at Chopu. You can really see on this angle. It makes you appreciate how crazy of a wave it is, and this is going to be a big score for Jake Marshall.
Oh my, talk about patience, composure, and execution by Jake Marshall. He showed us all three of those characteristics with that ride, and he's right back in this heat.
2 10s at the start, and when it's a tiebreak, some judges have John winning. It was one of those classics as we go into another gigantic pit for Ramzi. He's letting it all out. Unbelievable approach there in this heat. One of the best waves we've seen all day.
Heavy drop there for Ramzi. Oh my God. What else do you want? The drama. That thing was classic Chopu right there.
Oh my goodness. The Moroccan showing the world what he can do, Flick.
Wow, I mean, you could drive a bus through this thing. I mean, look how big that cavern is right there. And he just did so well. I mean, that's the most energy I've seen from one wave today. It was insane. I mean, think back to, Cole had an amazing wave, similar, lots of energy, but for him to stay on his feet there was incredible.
If Ramzi has any back hair.
Right behind him, look at the draw off the reef on this wave for Cole Houshmand. Houshmand off the bottom, big cavern, over the foam ball for the completion. Cole Houshmand. Absolutely loving it, Jesse. And obviously he did his homework. Here he is in the replay.
Are you kidding me? That's so deep. Hardly ever you can get deeper than that on that big of a wave out here at Chopu, because the tube monster is going to eat you alive. That big pump, second one, just hanging on to dear life. You see him holding the wall pretty much with his left hand right there. See that big pump into a second one right there. The foam ball is going to get him, and he holds himself with the inside hand, and I mean, barely hanging on his toes right there. That was so incredible from Cole, and what a beautiful wave he found. And as deep as he gets, this is going to be a massive score for him.
Getting over that troubled water, getting over all that foam right there.
Here we see Vahine.
Vahine still not out of this.
And that could be it,
And
too.
Vahine comes out of that barrel. Now, mind you, Vahine Fierro needs an 8.01 to take that lead off of Tatiana Weston-Webb. The fight back from the Tahitian right now. She was put in a corner with a perfect 10.
What a heat. Such quick succession, like she pumps deep into the barrel, super deep, disappears with the spit. That's an incredible ride too. Like, go.
Oh, for me, that's better than her 8s.
Yeah,
I think
agree.
it is.
Yep.
Weaving in there, in and out, changing the line multiple times to avoid that foam ball. Take another look here, Flick.
Yeah, this was beautifully done. Under pressure, she knows she needs a score. And you know what? I mean, there was a couple of little mistakes made by Vahine here. I mean, her mistakes is what caused Tatiana to be able to get back in this heat. But, I mean, firing back.
Vahine Fierro will not be denied a place in the final. She fights back for a 9.63, takes the lead. All right, do we have all the numbers in? We sure do. A 5.17 for Barron Mamiya. That's a keeper. 6.67 and 4.93 keeps Liam O'Brien in the lead. Here comes from Arcal coming back. Got a long wall in front of him and it comes out. That was magic. Wow. That's when you lose words on the commentary right there, Carissa. That was absolutely, that was a long section. Completely disappeared. Here we go. Sawyer Lindblad drops into this one. Gets in the barrel, spit out for Sawyer Lindblad. That's what she was waiting for.
Are you kidding me?
That's what she was waiting for.
Once again, as coming from backdoor, that was impressive. We were looking into a very good score.
And then this, Jesse.
Even more intensity, taller wave. Going through the foam right there with the spit. I mean, that wave has to be close to Vahine's score because the intensity of that drop had, starting with the spit already, getting very deep and coming out. That was beautiful.
Actually, that score coming out there eclipses Vahine Fierro. Sawyer Lindblad with an excellent 9.43. Strider, your vision on that?
My vision on that was absolutely incredible. I want to talk about the facial expression of Sawyer Lindblad after she rode through the foam out of the spit and was still standing there, and she looked out at me and she could not believe that she was still standing on her surfboard.
Vahine now showing that local knowledge, super deep on this one, over the foam ball and gets spit out of a cave. That was unbelievable.
She was so deep on that one. That was so good. I can even see her smile. I can't even see her face right now, but I know she'd be smiling. She's got such a beautiful smile. She'd be super stoked on that one.
Unbelievable. Another look here, Flick.
Yeah, let's have a look. You can see her kicking. She's paddling so fast. She wants that early entry into this one. Knifes it straight down the line. See how deep she was here. She traveled through that one. She had to weave a few times just to make sure she made the exit. This angle right now, I just love to see it. We get to really see how deep she is. You can see she's pumping. She's threading this one down the line. That section broke in front of her. She's on the foam ball, riding out in front of it. As soon as the ball gets stuck on the foam ball, it is so challenging just to navigate. It's like riding a bucking ball, right? Like she takes off, she weaves down the line. You can see how shallow and beautiful it is. That section, you see her riding on the foam ball, shoots out in front of it. That was so well done. Just beautiful, beautiful surfing from Vahine. Just so technical. That's probably one of the most technical barrels we've seen all morning.
And the best number that she's received as a wild card out here, a 9.33. The local absolutely flexing. Waited a long time because she knows this lineup better than anybody. Was ultra deep over the foam ball. How about this angle from the water?
Oh, this thing was just so crazy. So excited to see it. It just, for her to weave through that section, that one broke in front of it. It produced a foam ball. She hit it and she rode out in front of it.
It's good to be home for Jack Robinson as he's rolling in now. Big bottom turn, a big open face hook for the local boy. Driving off the bottom, hits the lip and rides away. Massive two-turn combo for Jack. Let's take another look, Flick.
Oh, wham, bam, thank you, ma'am. Look at that opening carving maneuver from Jack Robinson. Straight up into lips, hypercritical. comes flying out in front of the explosion. This was exactly the answer back I wanted to see from Jack.
Oh, just an amazing carve to start off. Watch how high Jack goes on the lip here. Just carving all the way through it. Stays nice and high. The complete wrap. Now he drops back down. Almost gets a barrel almost in the foam. And then here's the part here where he had to make this turn to make it a 1-2 punch. So it was like John was jabbing him a couple of times. Put him up against the ropes. Jack just completely bounced back and just gave him a big right hook.
She'll use that into her top two. She's chasing just a 2.85. Here comes Lindblad, the rookie from San Clemente on the windup. Nice, clean backhand snap. And goes under the lip again with an air drop and controls it. Sawyer Lindblad fighting for her spot on tour in a must-win situation and pulls together an incredible two-turn combination.
That was massive.
Yeah, we're only seeing Italo today on the backside, and here goes, wow, Sawyer, big re-entry here, and lines up this next one, and gets some air under the board as well, and she stands true. That one would have felt incredible. Have a look at this, the commitment. Throws her body into the turn, rides out of that with so much speed, no downtime. Looks at this section, goes up again, a steeper section, and have a look at this. Almost completely vertical.
Wow.
Air drops down, disconnects with the board, rides that with control. That's going to be a really, really good score for Sawyer Lindblad.
And gets on top of it, but doesn't make too much of it. Meanwhile, George Pittar gets funneled on the outside. And can he finish this one off to get rid of the 3.17? Nice turn there. Up over it and does get clear of that white water, so that will improve his heat score total.
Brett Power and Britt Merrick celebrating there. That's their boy. Two-turn combination. Here we go. Just slots straight into this beautiful almond-shaped barrel. Just no part of the tube touching him. Very clean. Comes out. Disappears from view. The judges always want to see you disappear. So right now, we've lost vision of him coming through the water.
Unbelievable, Kaipo. It's a beautiful thing when main break serves up the pit. It must look amazing staring into these things.
That was so cool. Took off straight into the barrel, traveled through there. It is great to see main break showing his teeth, offering some barrels out here, Ron. And I'm so excited what I'm seeing so far this morning. What a finals day.
It's been amazing so far and a huge moment for George Pittar there. He's going to improve his heat score.
Liam O'Brien incomplete. Let's see if the wild card will make him pay for that. Wow. Clean rail work from George Pittar. Wow. Lights up the lip again. Big vertical passing O'Brien, and looks like he's going to throw everything at the finish. His only mistake on the fall.
Oh, wow.
But sometimes it's so hard to blame him for falling on that end section, one of the toughest sections in the world to finish on your feet with the bricks showing up.
And so smooth, but just his first turn was so clean. And straight into his second one was also super clean, and then pretty good stat for that section. And I liked how he pushed it there.
Obviously good enough to win her events, but her competitive edge this year has really helped her get consistency in her results. She's been so impressive with the decision making, and she's onto another good ride here.
Wow. See, eyeing up this section, it's a choppy section. She goes up and over, chops the wave in two, goes for another little snap there, and just when you think it's over, she throws some unpredictability at that, throwing the fins out of the back and just carrying that momentum down the line with a solid fourth turn as well.
Yeah, I think Katie thought this wave was all done after the third turn, and then that final little section popped up. You can see each one of these maneuvers slightly different from the other. She's adapting to what the wave is offering her so well. That final turn, or the third turn, I'm sorry, just had that little tail slide. You can see here, keeps the board pointing down the line here, keeps that speed running and momentum. All things forward. Look at the hand movement there, very balanced. She just gets this nice backhand slash, great extension. Now she compresses again off the bottom. And then watch this one here. She sort of kicks the tail out a little bit.
Oh, sick.
Wow.
Gets a little off axis there, but total control throughout.
Just ridiculous how well she read that first section too. She was in full attack mode. And for me, this has been the big improvement in Katie's surfing last year. you know, she had that casual kind of style. Loving his own work.
Absolutely.
As Ethan, in response, digs hard there, very committed. Turn to kick this right off, backing it up now with a nice sequence of turns. This is looking like excellent stuff from the Queenslander. That first turn, I mean, just when you think it's all smooth, syrupy stuff, he just pushed hard on that tail. Drives off the bottom to set up that really, you know, tight, critical turn. Love it.
Wow, the arc that he's turning within. He gets on top of his board here, and look, there's no downtime. He's just eyeing off that next section. It's so difficult to do here on this tight, fast right-hander here at Muggies. And you're looking at a slab of reef at the end too. So it is intimidating, but these guys really eyeing out any kinks that this lineup has.
Great variety on show. Numbers rolling through. Excellence from Ethan Ewing. A 9.5 moving so much water. Did he get your Kipes?
Yeah, from the water level, Ron, so impressive to watch the body mechanics.
Australia versus USA, regular versus goofy, rookie versus runner-up in the world from last year and defending event champion. Houshmand able to get the first start over the veteran. Second turn, a perfectly timed backside snap into a third section and crushes it. Nice easy pace and throws it more vert. Plenty open face and rhythm for the goofy to continue to attack the lip. Grinding up on a little backhand wrap and he will go down, but he put some serious damage through the lip line to open up this heat. Good backside hacks going pretty vertical.
Oh, so vertical, and I feel like the pace that he had on this was just beautiful. The timing was amazing. The flow, for me, it was the moment. Obviously, the turns were insane, but it was the flow and the connectivity between the turns for me that really made this. It was just really beautiful to watch, and if there's one way you want to start a heat against Ethan Ewing, I mean, that is it.
He set it up, a piece of toast and then butter.
Piece of toast, butter, and Promite, and that's it. Or Vegemite, that's it.
Wow.
Oh, you can, no, but, avocado on top, yes. Yeah. But this morning I didn't have avocado. It didn't matter. Still good. Here we go. Look at this wave.
Snap
oh, my goodness.
To slide, big wall for Medina. Crushing it every section. More of a transition move off the top there, but just setting up a big tail blow. It looks like he was trying to ring an imaginary bell there. Stepdad Charlie back here by his side. Famously jumping in the ocean.
I think this is the high score of the day.
You reckon first?
Yeah, I think this is going to go 9. Yeah.
It's amazing.
Yeah, for sure. Like, it was the best looking wave I've seen today. Just surfed it perfectly. Big, long turns. And this last turn that he had to get up quick and then got that.
Yeah, you're on the money.
Yeah,
you're on the money.
Yeah, it's got to be a 9.
It was beautiful.
It was beautiful. It was beautiful. Even just this, just so perfectly timed. And here, that was like really hard to surf. He almost lost it on the nose, but just, I don't know, just something about him right now. He's looking so strong. Those legs look like they're made of steel at the moment. Nothing's going to bobble him. And I think back to what you were saying, it's that wide stance that's really helping him transition through those sort of fatter sections.
Yeah, Felicity, like, I do it a lot when, even though this wave's perfect, but if I'm kind of struggling, look at his board pop out there off the bottom.
Little grab rail.
But when that stuff's happening, it's better to have a wider, lower stance. Often, if I'm having a bad surf or the conditions are testing, I'll widen my stance and go lower. And it works. It really does work. And this guy is amazing.
Are you kidding me? That finishing maneuver, and even just those 2 little grab rail bottom turns that he did on those last 2 sections. You were on it.
That.
933.
Spot on, Ock. 933 to go with an 8-point ride. A monstrous performance, and there's still 10:20 to go. 17.33 combined total. Really impressed with him putting the whole wave together from start to finish.
Gained that drive, and that was beautiful from Griffin.
Now a little chip in for Colapinto as he heads left. A big cave setting up. Pulls up and under, still traveling. Colapinto into daylight. What a read from Griffin Colapinto. Before it was an 8.27. Where are we going with this?
I mean, what else can I say? He disappeared for quite a few times. A few chandeliers came up and he came out clean. And what was so impressive about this wave is where he took off. When he was paddling, there's foam all over him, so he couldn't see anything until he got to the bottom of that wave. That was so clutch from Griffin. And just look at that body positioning, so technical. High lining, standing still, and see right there, one chandelier coming down, another chandelier coming down. This makes it so technical and hard for him to do. Just beautiful body positioning right there, coming out clean. This is the best score of the heat so far.
Good punt on the end section. Here comes a bowling left for the 3-time world champ. Big hammer there to kick things off. Trills it again with the fins out. Out in front, little slash to fin release and shuts it down with a 4th turn through the backwash. Impressive heat for Gabriel here in the quarterfinals, and he is going to be even more dangerous as he gets into the later rounds on finals day, Miguel.
Yeah, this guy is serial killer. Seems like when he puts on his momentum together, he just has no holding back, and you really see all the energy he puts in there. Like he threw airs, he threw turns, backhand turns.
Probably going to be his best score of the heat, but here always Gabriel just answering back. That might be my second favorite wave of the heat so far. Just 2 massive turns, blow-tail carve, finished off strong with perfect timing, and then you almost thought he was done, and he still had a little 360 in the end, but we're not going to see that. But yeah, this first turn here was just buckets. Timing was perfect, bottom turns, and almost felt like he got in that confidence level where his board is just an extension of his body. Everything he wants to do, he can execute, and it's looking very clean. And yeah, great heat for both surfers. They both smashed.
Huge win for Gabriel Medina into his first semifinal of the season as he's flying up the live rankings on WorldSurfLeague.com. But what a wave to pick off as well, Miguel. Could hit it as hard as he wanted there.
Yeah, he had the clean face and he just clearly went for it. It was so good. You see, in between his turns, he doesn't even punt. Like, he does just a straight line and connects everything so well. Yeah, Medina is definitely one of my favorite surfers. It's amazing to see. And, just being between the best of all, it was an amazing experience I'll never forget.
Absolute charger these days, getting yourself into some amazing condition as we see. Gabriel Medina with a big wind-up, tail-high reverse. Whoa. Perfect landing on the roof. Hammers it in the pocket and still has room to move on the inside. What an incredible start for Gabriel as he will shut it down, looking so solid, with his eye on the prize.
Looking for it and just sending it. Wow, massive full rotation straight into like these backhand turns. Just these guys really on the highest level of all.
And to get that high, to land that perfect and go into another big turn. We love combinations, especially with variety. But beach break conditions like this, Jesse, that's as good as it gets.
Yeah, I don't think it gets much better, mostly with the conditions we have. As you see it right here, if you compare this air to the other one, there's more height, there's more rotation, and it's way smoother. And not to mention, he backed it up with a massive backside snap. Sorry, not a massive because the wave was small, but for the section, that was as good as a snap you can do. And finish it off. So, yeah, it's coming up as a 9, but if I'm comparing it to 7.17, there's more difference in between those 2 waves.
What an insane start for Gabriel Medina.
All right, here's the reply. Here goes Leo Fioravanti in the tube. He's traveling and he comes out. Fioravanti is absolutely delighted. He disappeared from view. The late takeoff straight into the tube, knifes it in, and all smiles in his camp. What a wait with now 30 seconds on the clock from Leo Fioravanti to get himself back in this heat, and it looks like back in the quarters. It's 5, 6, 8. Let's have a look.
Wow, super technical, late. I mean, stood up in the barrel on that, beautiful work. From the front on angle. He wasn't extremely deep, but look at the technique of getting under that hood. Incredible work. I'm really super impressed right there. That was super fun to watch. And then the make coming out with some style and energy. Bravo. Just like you said, Kaipo.
And there's the balcony exploding. Mom and fiance, smiles.
Great work.
Wow.
Coach is Kanoa and Jake Patterson. We'll see what kind of game plan they're setting up for Leo Fioravanti Big ramp setting up, big whip, perfect landing for Medina. Back to the top for another hack. And now looking for a third move, down carve slice. And how about that? That was unbelievable.
He's looking scary. Looking really good. Look at this. Yeah, that's so impressive from him. Just the head rotation.
Looked really fun to do.
And here comes a fun left. Dora wants to go for the air. Stumbled a bit, but still holds his composure to lay down the alley-oop.
Oh, wow.
Jams it shut. This is the day that we were hoping for at Super Tubos. Enjoying the aerial show with combination of turns. This is exactly what Yago loves to do at Super Tubos, Jesse.
It's such a progressive maneuver, but as you see it right here, it's so functional. Like, he's going down the line and he's actually gaining speed by doing it, and he just lands it perfectly to combo it up with a huge layback. So that was perfect execution, perfect choice of turn, and yeah, that was beautiful from him.
Great transition as well into the finishing move, and probably would have been a bigger air if he didn't lose his rail right before the launch, Ryan.
Yeah, absolutely. I feel like for his standards, he would have felt like he got there late, but he's just so good at adjusting to what's happening in the air, and he just made it work so well. Like Jesse said, the transition out of it was so clean. And
it's going to come under par. Here we go. Jack's up.
Love the inside was. Here comes Robinson laying down that rail, hangs on to it, transitions in the barrel. Jack Robinson punches free. Back into the pit one more time. Oh my goodness. When you're in sync and in rhythm with the ocean, it's like part of his body or something. He is connected today. He feeds off energy. He feeds off mana. He looks back at the mountain sometimes, and I don't know what's going on, but he can make no mistakes. What a ride.
This thing was absolutely insane. It's kind of like he just heard Jack say, like, okay, this is an 8. This is over an 8. I'm taking off here. Drops down to this first section. That rail was buried so deep there, up under the hood. I didn't think he was coming out of this, but it's Jack. Of course he is. And he pulls up into this second tube, gets spat out again. If there's a tube to be found, Jack's going to find it.
Is Jake going to change the requirement right now? Is he going to say, don't take off unless it's a 10-point right?
I think he has to, Jesse. What'd you like about the first turn?
I mean, this is as big as a carve gets. Like, he basically, like Flick mentioned, he buried half of his board in the water. And how's the regroup right there? Just cat reflexes. Also, like you mentioned before, I don't know what to say. This is one of the best waves I've probably seen out here. Like, as far as how big this wave was, you couldn't surf that wave better. Yeah, double barrel at sunset, that's crazy.
The read and the transition between each of those moments on the wave was the best I've seen all event. So we look out the back, it looks like a set's rolling through, and it looks like Molly's having a look.
Here we go with Molly Picklum. Delays the bottom turn. Wave raises up, pickles up into the lip. Big explosion behind her, and what a turn. Molly Picklum taking it to the house.
So you can look at it here. Look at these little rivets that Molly had to sort of play with as she lined up this first section here and just cranked it off the lip.
That's radical. Radical. One more time.
Yeah, this was so beautiful. It was such a big wave and such a big section. You can really see how powerful that was, and her legs were fully extended there, and she just hung on for dear life. Just really love this angle here. You can just really see that how thick that lip is as she went up to hit it. Beautiful rainbow spray as well. This in my books was probably one of the best, most critical turns that has been laid out by any of the women all event.
Maybe in the history of Sunset Beach, actually, when you look at just the disconnect there, the size of the wave, look at right on her heels, an avalanche of whitewater. I mean, not just this event, I'm going to say in the history of women's surfing at Sunset Beach, and Picklum.
Final number 4 continues with a peak popping up. Jack Robinson pulls up and under. Comes flying out of the barrel once again and nails it off the top. Robbo looking for another big section, drills it.
I knew he was going to pull in, but it was such a huge risk. And then the wave just lit up like a light bulb, and the whole thing blew up into a massive bubble, and he just weaved right through it. As he came out, he just had the fist pump. You know, you could see him feeling it. And then on the way back out, he was paddling. You could see him trying to calm himself down, go into Zen mode, and it was a beautiful thing. So Incredible surfing. Obviously, Italo not out of it ever. I mean, the guy's an animal. Reynos in his corner. He's on that 6'5". He's just telling him, you're going to need another 8. You need another big score. Yelled at him to get back out there and go for it. Sets are on the horizon. Thank you, Hawaii. This is why we're here.
This is why we're here. Was one more angle deep on the peak, Jesse.
Positioning right there, way behind the TP. And as you see it, he's just like, I need to really move forward because this is very critical how backdooring he is on that wave. And feet on the front, as usual for those surfers when they're riding a tube ride. And right here, he already knew he had 80% of the job done. He just needed to be critical, but not over pushing it. So he would just finish that wave and get a massive score. As you see a second turn, nice and big, and right here, just laying it back. He could have been more critical, but he held it back. But
been a massive connection. Callinan's going to look to make him pay for that. How about that hammer out the back? Perfect transition on the wall. Nice wave choice as he'll go under the lip, and Ryan is on fire here on finals day. Just big sections, and then Ryan's, Jesse.
Okay, this first turn is incredible, and it's all about the setup right here. See how clean that bottom turn was. He was able to come from behind and get so vertical, and just culminated up with 2 massive turns that under the lip right there, they used to call under the umbrella or something, and they didn't adjust so properly, but I hope this one, it's a banger for us.
Here we go, Gabby Bryan. Gabby, 2-time semifinalist out here at Sunset Beach with power surfing just like that. Looks like she's angry at being in the elimination round. Gabby Bryan, 21 years old.
Way above average surfing from Gabby. That was excellent surfing. As you see it right here, first turn, just straight, not wiping any speed off, just beautiful off the lip, and right there just engaging the rail and driving all the way through. It's so hard for you to keep that rail engaged the whole time, and she did it so well right here. A little bit more vertical, and then this second one is money right there. Like, beautiful style, beautiful approach.
Just violent. A couple of violent turns from Gabriela Bryan, beating up Sunset.
I always love getting snakes theories, too, as we go into the barrel with Bettylou. She makes it off the bottom, and an absolute hammer of a finishing move.
There's an excellent ride for you.
Look out. Bettylou Sakura Johnson getting the barrel, and then absolute hack to finish. Happen on this wave flick.
Yeah, this was so sick. Just what Snake said. She really had to be in the barrel. She wanted. There was nowhere else to get around this section but through the barrel, and then lays it straight up into the lip, and sort of resembled that wave that Griff got, you know, in those dying seconds of that heat against Cade. Just, okay, Cade isn't going to go, I'll go. And just, yeah, beautiful surfing here. Read that barrel really well. It's the only way through, and just hacked it under the lip. It was super impressive.
One more look here, Snake.
Wow. And it's like, it's such a hard barrel to read on the bowl here. It's like, it doesn't, sometimes it goes really hollow, but sometimes we call it the breathing dragon. Because it's got so many different like lumps and bumps, and sometimes it drops out. But that's really well surfed.
And having that tail drop there just shows her commitment. She couldn't even see.
I love the hair flick.
That wasn't just for style. That was actually hits the lineup with Jack Robinson in the round of 32. As we come into the screen with Jake Marshall on a beautiful start on this wall. Nice big carve again. This thing's going all the way. A third turn for Jake Marshall. And he still has some room to go straight up and drills it. Wow. What an incredible ride for Jake.
Very smooth, and the wave was growing the whole time too. As you see it right here, just a beautiful carve. Very critical. And the whole time he just had a great pace in that wave. Just no downtime, rail to rail, no pumps down the line, just straight into work. That was beautiful wave ridden for him. And best wave selection so far as well of the day.
This wave started off with a beautiful cutting.
I know, just one of those grows like I just mentioned. And right here, that was money right there. With helping, using the backwash as an advantage for him. And just right there, a down carve and finish it off just straight vertical. Judges are going to eat that up.
Jake Marshall's put in a lot of time at Sunset Beach. Really shows. Look how much of the open face he used there.
I know, just great approach overall. Just this has to be on the excellent range. That was a beautiful wave for him, and to finish it off. As you see right here, this first bottom turn, see that fade that just made him be in the tight pocket right there with the backwash helping him out. Just perfect timing. That was incredible from Jake.
Jake Marshall turns in a 9.17. Crucial timing there because Gentile had the 7.5. Callie even earlier said, man, if you could get 3 turns on a wave.
3 minutes remaining. But to echo your point, Crosby Colapinto, when he qualified for the championship tour, asked him what he was looking forward to. He said, surfing against his brother, who's right here. Griffin finds a barrel and comes out. This may be the number for Griff. Gets up there early, airdrops into it, and survives the explosion. Griffin Colapinto. We talked about the master and the apprentice, perhaps a situation here. It looks like the master just was masterful in his execution and turned the heat in the final 3 minutes.
This is the moment. Kate having a look, pulls back. We're just like, thank you very much. And straight into this tube section here, gets covered up. And this section here, wow. He read that well, airdrop to finish, and just really holding on here for dear life, knowing that, hey, if I've got a shot at this 5-point ride, I've got to hang on. I've got to make it.
It's excellent. In the conditions that we're seeing, that finish hanging on right there, that's excellent surfing. He signals to the beach. Look at this in slow motion.
It's so good. This was such a difficult wave to surf, and to do it under priority when the pressure's on and to make it count. Like, I mean, look at how hard this section is to read. And just the read of going up and pulling that turn a little bit short just so that he could make sure he could ride out.
Pick up there in the tube. Jordy Smith. And coming out for Jordy Smith. Disappearing act for the South African former champ out here. And he's bringing his A game in this opening round. That was such, you can see the smile on his face. Such an impressive barrel ride. See, here is the score that he got for this.
Yes, and this is what we've been talking about all day. You want these waves that actually look small, but they're growing down the line and hit the end bow better. Right here, getting lift, but then just slowing himself down just enough to get the best barrel of the day by far. Like, that was 1, 2, 3 sections and going through that fumble in the end right there.
She's had a taste of the lineup. Watch this. Molly Picklum locks in, pulls in, standing tall, and gets blown out at backdoor. We are watching magic, poetry, and one of the best performances we've seen in surfing history, all in one single day.
Here we go. This is the moment right here. First wave of the final for Molly. Drops into this huge backdoor pit. Comes flying out from behind the section there. I just can't believe that she's had the ability to maintain this momentum the whole way through this entire event. It is super incredible.
Yeah, she has been the absolute standout of the event. And look at this. This was really hard to ride. She almost had to wait for this chandelier, get underneath it here, and this is where the whole wave just unloaded on the reef there. And look at her just screaming through that section. Wow, that's going to be an excellent score to start off the final.
Lexus Pipe Pro semifinal number 1 out in the water. Barron Mamiya with the lead over Connor O'Leary. Barron backdoor. Barron drags through this in a cavern, disappears. Second section for Mamiya. And Barron comes flying out. He's already gone excellent. Can he top the 9.07?
Look at this from right over on the left side of the wave and pulling through. And look at this control in the barrel, getting more speed just when he needs it and just coming flying out. Even he's impressed, and he's, yeah, look at so sick.
Yeah, what's most impressive for me on that wave is just the beginning of it, how he was able to control that speed and get so deep in that first section. Feet way in front of the board, just helping him out drive through that thing. But check it out, this both arms stalling, kind of has that little airdrop feeling on it. Engage the rail again. It gets so deep in that first section. It's so hard for you to control the speed through all that, those powerful waves. And right there is just paddle to the metal and just going for the win.
9.77, nearly a 10 for Barron Mamiya.
You give Barron, who can get waves in the crowd,
and into another one. He can get ways in the crowd, and when he's got the place to himself, this is what you get.
Oh my goodness. The prodigy, I call him. Barron Mamiya, 24 years old, the 8'8" on his back, representing the 808 state. And a kid that started surfing out here at 9 years old, Jesse, just shows his mastery of this break.
Paddling, looking right, and he just knows already this thing's going to just start running down the line in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pumps and like a few adjusts through the middle of that. That was so incredible from him. This is going to be the best score he's got so far.
What did you think of this, Louis?
Yeah, awesome. Nice arm drag. And I like just here where he hits the accelerator because he sees the last bit as he gets over near 8s. And, yeah, he's been looking really good in the Red Bull athlete zone earlier. He just had this steely look, but very calm. It's the most calm I've seen him in a long time. And he knows this is his stage to perform. And look at that, just pumping again for the last section and just timing it to absolute perfection to come out.
9-point ride for Barron Mamiya.
It's very exciting to be part of this finals right here because look at this.
Look at this one. Sakura, this thing's a beast. Draining down the line, spit through. Sakura Johnson comes out, and that was what we were waiting for.
Are you kidding me? That's the intensity that we were looking for. A double up out here. It's so hard to get, underneath, and that was beautiful wave from Sakura. And
wow.
Okay, check this out. Like, it starts to double up, and he gets on the first shelf right there. She has to knife it so nicely in 1, 2, 3 pumps coming after the spit. That was just perfectly reading. That was the best wave of the day so far on the woman's side. And check this out. This paddle, the wave doubles up. She was just under enough. Nice double hand drag, and right there she's just starting paddle to the metal. 3 pumps coming out of this after the spit. That's miles ahead of her 6-point ride. So that was as good as it gets for backdoor. Right here, she stalls, identify the wave's going to start running. 1, 2, and the third, and she shifts the foot forward too. Like you see her back foot is in front of the front of the pad right there as you see it. And that just gives her the stability and the drive that she needs for that wave.
This is what happened during the catch-up with John Florence. Katie Simmers flick.
Whoa, Katie takes off so deep on this one at backdoor and comes flying on out. What a way to start the women's quarterfinals.
She is already on fire. Laura, what'd you see here?
Oh my goodness, just behind the peak, completely backdooring that section. That is what we love to see. Katie Simmers, we know that she's one of the stylish women to join the tour, but look at the way she paddled in on the angle, completely backdooring that big, gnarly backdoor peak, and that is going to be an excellent score for Katie to start this quarterfinal off against Tatiana. Loved this, just got that one beautiful pump, knew it was opening up so nice and wide, and look at the scores. That is excellent surfing. She looks so small in that wave.
And just fully engulfed. The wave spits, and it looks like he got gobbled up there, but he just comes shooting on out. And
hey, both of those 2 stars, he's made it through this round. So he's always made it through this round in his short career here. Here he goes, backdoor barrel, and it is a big one. The spit comes out, and that one comes out.
No way.
That is what we were just talking about, the never give up attitude for Callum Robson. Let's take a look at this flick.
Oh, it's just such a late drop, engages with that rail so deep in the barrel, weaves through and comes flying on out. You just tell this angle here, just so late up underneath that lip. And that barrel just stayed the same size the whole way too. A lot of the barrels we've seen today sort of have diminished in size. They've got smaller as they've surfed it, but this one just held its size the whole way through. He was so deep and just fully engulfed. The wave spits, and it looks like he got gobbled up there, but he just comes shooting on out. And
hey,
it was amazing.
It may have been a little bit of divine intervention that his thruster. Look at the react from the crowd. As we turn to live action with a split peak, we're going to stay with John Florence backdoor. Florence just through the cavern, got the headlamp on, comes out into the light of day. full rail carve, bending the fins on that Pizel surfboard. John Florence.
Back to John's. This one here was just a disappearing act. It just stretched so far down the line and just kept weaving and weaving and weaving through each section there. Wasn't done yet. Finishes off with a nice carve, but it reminded me of that wave last year, you know, where most of the camera operators were like, no way is he coming out of this. And there was one, I think it might have been Johnny, who was still on him. He was like, no, I believe you're coming out. And all of a sudden, it just came firing out of this barrel. And
this is it.
This board looks quite short here.
It's an excellent number. Here's all of our judges' scores. A 9.17 for John Florence. You can see a couple of 9.5s thrown in the mix. Take out the high, the low, 9.17 for John. And his stats are going to improve here at Pipeline.
Puts his head down, grabs the rail, slides out for a moment, and he gets spat out of a cannon. Once again, Callum Robson putting on a show, showing off his tube riding ability, his best wave so far, as he'll be getting closer to Medina now.
The best wave, in my opinion, of the heat so far. See it right there? He takes off very late, and right there, it almost loses the rail. Let his hand go off the rail so he can regroup it, and just coming out after the speed. That was a beautiful rhythm wave. Just going over the foam ball right there, just on top and ahead enough so he was able to come out of that. Beautiful rhythm wave for Callum.
So impressed with Callum Robson, like you mentioned, had to adjust when he was in the belly of that one. And there was so much energy coming out of the pit there. Stoked he was able to hang on.
Yes, that was beautiful rhythm wave for him, and he's always surprising us. Like, as soon as he gets a challenging condition right in front of him, he's able to capitalize on those moments. And amazing speed, so much energy into that wave, and he's coming out after the speed. So that was a beautiful rhythm wave for him, and